What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's having a great Memorial Day weekend. I figured since I got a couple days off, I would go ahead and get this oil cooler installed. So I decided to get an oil cooler because the oil temps were starting to get a little high when I would do some hard driving. The highest temperatures I've seen are about 230, 232. So I'd like to get those temperatures to stay down. So a little backstory on the oil cooler situation. If you go back in my videos, I kind of explain it, but I did delete the OEM oil cooler off of this motor and had to install a non-turbo water pump. This is what that water pump looks like. As you can see, the third port is gone for that, so it no longer goes to the oil cooler. And then all you have to do is block off the nipple that comes out of the bottom of the block. So I went ahead and reinstalled that nipple. I got a OEM Subaru water pump for a turbo EJ25, installed that, installed the OEM oil cooler, a brand new one, back on there. And you know, that seemed to help my temperatures a little bit. I was running close to 230 to 240 when I would push it a little hard on the back roads, and really it wasn't that hard and it wasn't that warm outside, so I didn't really want to risk getting into summertime and my oil temperatures getting crazy. So that's why I installed all that stuff. The temperatures probably dropped down maybe 10 degrees. Not really too much, but there was a difference, so that is good. Usually cruising around town, it stays about 203 now, which I would like it to be a little cooler. So I went ahead and ordered a Mishimoto Oil Cooler. I went with this one because it seems pretty simple to install. It had good video for the installation. It just bolts right up to all the factory spots, but you do have to have the factory oil cooler on the block or else it will not fit. So that was one of the reasons I also had to reinstall that oil cooler. So this video, I'm pretty much just gonna show you guys the oil cooler and how to install it and how I installed it. Hopefully it clears the new header we got on there. So anyways, I'll show you guys the oil cooler, everything that came in the box, and then we'll get to it. Alright guys, so here is everything that the kit came with. So we got our oil cooler here. We have our banjo fittings. These are going to go off of the sandwich adapter to the lines. This is to hold the sandwich adapter onto the block, and the oil filter will screw onto here. It came with the brackets right here, and we got our AN lines right here with a couple 90-degree fittings already on there, and then here's our sandwich adapter. It does have a 180-degree thermostat in it, so it won't be running the oil through all the time until it actually reaches 180 degrees. So we don't have to worry about that in the wintertime with our oil trying to warm up, with it constantly flowing through the cooler. So that should be good. I think the installation should be fairly simple, I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure I can get away with not taking off the front bumper or any of that stuff. I think we just need to take the grill off and get the lines routed down in there. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the top of this thing. So let's get this grill off of there and kind of figure out how it's gonna fit in there and stuff. All right, so we're gonna start by popping this grill off of here. There's just a couple clips. So now we got the grill off of there. We are going to have to take out this bolt right here, which is for the alarm. I think it's for the chirp. And also I think we're going to have to take the bottom bolt out of the hood latch, which I think we should be okay because the oil cooler is going to press up against that. So let's get those off and see what it looks like. All right, get this thing out of there. We're probably just going to have to move this guy over and maybe zip tie him over here somewhere out of the way. All right, so here's our oil cooler. It does sit upside down, which is kind of strange that they would put the M upside down, considering it sits like this. This bracket is going to sit on top of it. So you have these two holes up here. It's going to sit right up behind it just like that, and then this will sit right down in there. So this will sit down in here, sit up like that. Those little holes line up there, and then this is gonna both in, just like that. We got really lucky, and it does fit with the intercooler, which is pretty awesome. Okay guys, so it comes with this little plate here that goes on the bottom, and that's supposed to direct the air in. I don't think we're gonna need that, because if you set it down here, as you can see, it sits right up on the intercooler right there. So I don't think that there's any need for that to be there. So we're not gonna put this bottom bracket on there. So I think we'll be fine with just this one where it actually mounts. All right, so here is our oil cooler. There are two different lines. One of them has a 90-degree and a straight, and the other has two 90s. So with this, the straight fitting is going to go on your left. This is an AN fitting, so you do not use Teflon tape. So we're just gonna get that on there. We're not gonna get it tight. We're just gonna get it on there so we have room to move it around. And then this 90-degree fitting is gonna go on the right. And it's gonna point towards this one. So we're gonna get that screwed on there. And we'll leave this one a little bit loose as well. So now we're gonna go over here. This straight line is gonna go down, and there's a little spot right between the AC condenser down there. I'll show you after I get it on there. All right, so here is how you route the lines. The straight fitting is gonna go right down there between the condenser, and then this top one is just gonna go, it's just gonna route right on top of the crash bar, and it's gonna go back down through there. And then both of them will pop out right down here. You just kind of have to get your hands up in there and bring these lines out. So we got both our lines down here. I did take the oil cooler off so that I could show you how these are routed. So I'm gonna screw those things back on there real quick. All right, we got both of those on there. We can grab our wrench and tighten these. All right, so I got both of these tight. I did run this 90 behind the straight line. It seems to fit a lot better than being in front, and it's probably because I have this intercooler right here. So we should just be able to slide this down in here. So we have the oil cooler in place, I believe. This bracket will go right up here on top. So we have our bracket on there. Probably go ahead, put a couple of these screws that it came with in there. And all of these bolts are 10 millimeter. All right, so now that that's in there, we're gonna take our little chirper thing here, and we're just gonna zip tie it right up here next to the oil cooler. Just like that. There we go. Like I said, it's kind of weird that the M is mounted upside down. So now I'm gonna just go ahead and pop this back on there for now. All right, we got our grill back on there. So you can kind of see her right up in there. Should get some good airflow. So now we're gonna get underneath the car and connect the rest of the stuff. All right, so first thing we're gonna wanna do down here is get this oil filter off of there. Probably gonna make a little mess. So make sure you have your drain pan underneath it and ready. All right, so we'll just let this drain here for a minute. Okay, so your sandwich adapter is just gonna go right on here. I'm not really sure where I want it, so we're just gonna screw that in. I said I'm not really sure because I don't want these lines to touch the exhaust. So this line is probably gonna go like this, come around, screw in here, and I can tie it down to the frame rail right here so it's not touching the header. This one I need to figure out. Alright, so here is what I ended up with. We got the lines coming down through here, and I put the sandwich adapter sideways, kind of, from what I've seen in the install videos. I got all these things tightened. There's quite a bit of clearance right here beneath the exhaust manifold. So I think we're gonna be all right. I'm gonna throw some zip ties and get these lines back as far as possible from the header. Throw the oil filter on there. All right, so we got our zip tied here, zip tied there. We got plenty of clearance from the header. So I think we can clean the oil off the header real quick and get this thing started, see if she leaks. We got oil pressure. Okay guys, so my other camera died, so I'm charging those batteries, but I got the GoPro. So I started it up, checked underneath, we didn't have any leaks, everything looked good. I did let it warm all the way up. Like I said, I didn't see any leaks, didn't see anything, so let's get this thing back down on the ground, and we'll go for a little drive, see what our oil temperatures are, and hopefully we made the right choice by buying this oil cooler, because it was not cheap. So one thing before I do forget, this does add about a half a quart to 3/4 of a quart of oil to your oil system. So make sure and check your oil and add some. I added about a quart because I did drain quite a bit when I pulled the filter off. So just make sure and fill it back up with oil before you go take off, because you will run low, and you know, that's not a good thing. So we got this thing back down on the ground, so let's go ahead and go for a drive. All right guys, so I've been driving for about 10 minutes and we've only got up to 192. I haven't hit the highway or anything, so right now that's quite a bit cooler. My oil pressure has dropped quite a bit. I don't really like that too much, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. So this one over here, this is our oil temperature. Right now it's only at 186. And normally it would probably be close to 200 or over 200, so I would say that definitely is helping a lot. But the downfall is my oil pressure over here is about 10 pounds less than it used to be when I'm cruising, so hopefully that's not going to be an issue. Well guys, the oil cooler is definitely doing its job. I haven't really seen the temperatures get over, I don't know, they haven't got over 200 yet, so that's good. I haven't really pushed it too hard because my oil pressure is a lot lower, so I am running an 11 millimeter oil pump on here, so I may need to switch back to the 10 millimeter, or I think what I might do is shim the oil pump with a couple washers and see if I can get the oil pressure up to where I want it before I go back to the other oil pump. So we're gonna go ahead and try that this weekend and see what we got to do. But the oil temperatures are definitely better, which I would think if the oil temperatures are lower, I should be getting more oil pressure. So we're gonna have to address that issue before we really push the car anymore, because right now I'm only at what, about 60, but it doesn't really go up if I give it gas. So right now it's at 60 at 4,000 RPMs. Stupid map sensor keeps messing up. That's why my check engine light just came on. I did order a new map sensor because this one just keeps on messing up. I don't know what the deal is. Every once in a while I get into boost and it just wants to throw a code. So we're gonna see what's up with that, and as you can see right now it says my oil pressure is only 45. So I don't know. We might go hook up a mechanical gauge to verify that that's really what the oil pressure is. But for now I think I'm just gonna take it home and end this video. Alright guys, so a little update before I end this video. When I got home I went ahead and took the bypass valve out of the oil pump and threw 2 more shims in there, so there's a total of 3 now. That seemed to help quite a bit. I did go for another drive and our oil pressure was a lot better. So hopefully tomorrow when I take it out, when it's a little warmer, our oil pressure stays good and our temperatures stay good, and we don't have to deal with any of that stuff again for a little while. So hopefully this video might help you guys a little bit. I know I didn't go too in-depth into the install. They have a couple videos on YouTube from Mishimoto and it goes into quite a bit of detail. As far as the oil temperatures go, I'm extremely happy with it. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. So that makes me extremely happy with the summer weather coming up and the higher temperatures. I think it's supposed to be around 100 next week, so that'll be quite a test for it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you guys later.